In the sun-soaked landscapes of Florida, where palm trees sway in the breeze and tranquility masks the darkest secrets, a woman named Aileen Wuornos etched her name into the tales of true crime. Picture this: the year is 1989, and the state is gripped by fear as a string of murders unfolds on its highways. But these are no ordinary crimes, and the perpetrator is no run-of-the-mill criminal. This is the story of Aileen Wuornos, a name that would soon send shivers down the spines of those who dared to delve into the details. Join me as we journey straight into the heart of the storm, where Wuornos' twisted path begins to intertwine with the fates of her unsuspecting victims. Welcome to the dark and disturbing world of Aileen Wuornos, where the line between predator and prey blurs, and the story unfolds like a chilling nightmare. Aileen Wuornos, a woman whose life played out like a tragic symphony on the stage of true crime, emerged from the shadows of a troubled past to become one of America's most notorious figures. Born into a world that seemed determined to test her at every turn, Wuornos faced a tumultuous journey from a troubled childhood to a life entangled with crime. In the seedy underbelly of Florida, Wuornos became a name synonymous with fear and brutality. Her story takes unexpected twists, weaving through a landscape of broken dreams and shattered illusions. Aileen, once just a face in the crowd, transformed into a specter haunting the highways, leaving behind a trail of victims whose lives intersected with hers in the most tragic of ways. Her tale is not just one of crime, but a complex story of a woman grappling with demons that pushed her to the edge. As we unravel Wuornos' life, we confront the stark realities of a world that failed her, shaped her, and ultimately led her down a path from which there was no return. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join me as we peer into the compelling, tragic, and disturbing story of Aileen Wuornos, where the boundaries between perpetrator and victim blur, and the echoes of her troubled existence linger in the shadows of true crime history. Aileen Wuornos' family background unfolds like a faded photograph with creased edges, capturing the essence of a household fraught with discord. Raised in the hushed whispers of dysfunction, her roots bore the scars of broken promises and fractured connections. Her father, a phantom figure, cast long shadows of absence, leaving behind an echoing void that shaped her early perceptions of love and stability. Meanwhile, her mother, a portrait of resilience in the face of adversity, struggled against the currents of hardship. Aileen's familial landscape became a mosaic of strained relationships, an intricate puzzle with missing pieces that would later reveal themselves in the jagged contours of her turbulent journey. Within the walls of her home, the interplay of discord and longing set the stage for a narrative that transcends the boundaries of crime, weaving through the very fabric of her troubled beginnings. Aileen's journey into instability began as a subtle dissonance in her formative years. The rustling leaves of her childhood held whispers of restlessness, a precocious spirit yearning to break free from the confines of a turbulent environment. Early signs of her inner turmoil manifested in the playground skirmishes, an unbridled rebellious streak that hinted at an unconventional path ahead. Her laughter echoed with a nuanced cadence, a mix of mirth and underlying disquiet that betrayed the complexity within. As adolescence unfolded, the storm within Aileen brewed, and her temperament became a tempest, a volatile concoction of defiance and vulnerability. Teachers noticed a flicker in her eyes, a defiance that defied the ordinary rebelliousness of youth. In the quiet moments between dusk and dawn, Aileen's sleepless nights seemed to harbor a stormy introspection. The constellation of her emotions, like stars aligning in ominous patterns, foretold a turbulent future. These early signals, unnoticed by many, were the faint ripples of a psychological deluge that would eventually engulf her. To understand Aileen's instability is to decipher the cryptic language of her early years, where the seeds of unrest were sown in the fertile soil of adversity. Wuornos' life pivoted at the intersection of relentless abuse and haunting trauma. In the crucible of her formative years, the winds of dysfunction whipped through her household, leaving behind emotional wreckage. Her childhood became a maze of shadows, each corner concealing the scars of neglect and the bruising aftermath of physical torment. The toxic blend of cruelty and indifference etched its mark, distorting the lens through which she viewed the world. Abuse, like an insidious poison, seeped into the very core of her being, shaping the contours of a troubled soul destined for a path where the boundaries between right and wrong blurred into a murky haze. Her journey was intricately woven with the silent battles waged within the recesses of her mind. Mental health struggles, like relentless shadows, clouded her perception of reality. Depression and anxiety, silent but insidious, cast a heavy pall over her existence. The war within transcended the external tumult as the fragile architecture of her psyche weathered storms unseen by those around her. Aileen grappled with the tangled vines of her own thoughts, navigating a labyrinth where the boundaries between sanity and chaos became blurred. Her struggles with mental health became an invisible thread, weaving through the fabric of her life, pulling her inexorably toward a darker fate. Aileen's foray into a life of crime unfolded like a sinister ballet, choreographed by the haunting echoes of her tumultuous past. The sunlit highways of Florida transformed into the backdrop of a chilling drama that shattered the facade of normalcy. Aileen's journey, once navigating the shadows of despair, now traced the contours of a criminal canvas. Her initial involvement in prostitution, a desperate means of survival, soon became the gateway to a descent into darkness. The transient encounters along the roadside merged into a sinister procession of victims, their lives extinguished in the pursuit of something elusive. Aileen's crimes, fueled by a volatile mix of rage, desperation, and a distorted sense of justice, etched her name into the narrative of infamy. Each crime served as a twisted catharsis, a release from the shackles of her tumultuous past. Her victims, unwitting players in life's highway, became tragic characters in a narrative crescendoing to a gruesome climax. Yet beyond the veneer of a cold-blooded killer, Aileen Wuornos remained a deeply flawed and wounded soul. The highways that bore witness to her crimes also echoed with the ghosts of her past, a cruel paradox where Aileen became both the orchestrator and victim in the theater of crime she inhabited. The investigation into Aileen Wuornos unfolded like a gripping detective thriller against the backdrop of America's socio-cultural tapestry. Law enforcement found themselves entangled in a web spun by a woman whose crimes defied conventional criminal patterns. The discovery of the murders triggered a race against time, with detectives piecing together a puzzle whose edges seemed to elude definition. Forensic science emerged as the unsung hero in the pursuit of justice, providing crucial threads to weave into the fabric of a case clouded by the chaos of Wuornos's spree. Profilers, facing a challenge as unique as the criminal herself, deciphered the fractured psyche behind the crimes. Each piece of evidence became a breadcrumb in a dark forest, guiding investigators towards the elusive predator. Her capture unraveled with a tense climax on the roadside of a Florida highway. The very landscape that bore witness to her crimes now became the stage for her apprehension. In a moment frozen in time, the handcuffs clicked shut, marking the end of her murderous odyssey. Wuornos, once a phantom haunting the roadsides, was now a captive, ensnared by the tenacity of law enforcement. The investigation and capture of Aileen Wuornos represent a compelling chapter in the chapters of true crime, where dogged determination and forensic prowess brought an end to a reign of terror that had gripped the nation. Aileen Wuornos' legal odyssey unfurled as a gripping courtroom drama, a collision of conflicting narratives that unfolded like a tragic play on the stage of justice. The defense orchestrated a poignant symphony, weaving threads of Wuornos' tumultuous past into a tapestry of mitigating circumstances. Her lawyers painted a vivid portrait of a woman shaped by trauma, challenging the jury to peer beyond the surface of her crimes. In contrast, the prosecution crafted a narrative of accountability, each charge a stark punctuation mark in the tragic score of lives lost. The courtroom became an arena where the complexities of mental health, morality, and the price of retribution intersected. Legal experts grappled with the shades of culpability, and the media, an omnipresent force, shaped the public's perception with its insatiable appetite for sensationalism. As the trial came to its climax, the judge's pronouncement became the haunting finale, the consequence of a society grappling with the limits of justice. Aileen Wuornos, confined by the weight of her actions, left an indelible mark on the legal landscape, a case that forced society to confront uncomfortable questions about the intersections of trauma, responsibility, and the pursuit of justice. The psychological analysis of Aileen Wuornos unveils a complex portrait of a woman entangled in the prison of her own self. Forensic experts dissected the layers of her troubled mind, probing the recesses where the roots of her criminality intertwined with the scars of a traumatic past. Wuornos's actions, once seen through the lens of cold-blooded murder, began to reveal the fractured mosaic of a soul shaped by abuse, abandonment, and the corrosive effects of societal neglect. Mental health professionals grappled with the intersection of nature and nurture, exploring how Wuornos's genetic predispositions collided with a tumultuous upbringing to create a perfect storm of criminality. The courtroom became a theater of psychiatric testimony, each expert offering their interpretation of the psychological kaleidoscope that defined Wuornos. As the analysis unfolded, a mosaic of diagnoses emerged, reflecting not just the mind of a killer, but the scars of a society that failed to provide the necessary safety nets. Aileen Wuornos's psychological journey became a prism through which society confronted uncomfortable questions about the intricacies of mental health, the limits of empathy, and the responsibility of a community to address the fractures that lead individuals down dark and destructive paths. The controversies surrounding Aileen Wuornos' case ignited a societal powder keg, sparking debates that resonated far beyond the courtroom walls. Central to the fervor was the ethical conundrum surrounding her mental state and the imposition of the death penalty. Advocates for compassion and understanding contended that Wuornos's turbulent past, marked by abuse and neglect, warranted a nuanced approach to justice, one that acknowledged the complexities of her life. On the opposing side stood those staunchly advocating for the severity of punishment, emphasizing the gravity of her crimes and the need for retribution. Media sensationalism further fueled the flames, casting Wuornos as either a tragic victim or a malevolent predator. The controversies encapsulated a societal struggle to reconcile notions of mercy and justice, laying bare the profound questions surrounding the responsibility society bears in addressing the root causes of criminal behavior. In the court of public opinion, Aileen Wuornos became a symbol of the inherent tension between compassion and retribution, leaving a mark on the ongoing discourse around the intersection of mental health, crime, and societal responses to the darkest corners of human behavior. Aileen Wuornos left behind a complex legacy that reverberates through the corridors of true crime and societal consciousness. Her life, marked by a descent into infamy, has become a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting the shadows of systemic failures and the consequences of a society grappling with its own demons. Wuornos, whether viewed as a victim or a perpetrator, challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths about the interplay of trauma, mental health, and criminality. In popular culture, her legacy persists through films, documentaries, and discussions, each interpretation a lens through which the public grapples with the complexities of her story. Beyond the headlines and sensationalism, Aileen Wuornos' legacy prompts us to consider the societal responsibility in addressing the root causes of criminal behavior, fostering empathy, and reevaluating the ways in which we navigate the intersection of justice and compassion in the face of human tragedy. Unraveling the threads of Aileen Wuornos' life and crimes transcends mere fascination with a criminal narrative. It becomes a crucial exploration into the darker corners of the human experience. Understanding her story isn't a voyeuristic gaze into the macabre, but an essential endeavor to decipher the intricate tapestry of factors that lead an individual down a treacherous path. Aileen's tale serves as a chilling reminder that beneath sensationalized headlines and crime scene tape, there exists a complex interplay of circumstances, societal failings, and personal struggles. By peering into her life, we confront uncomfortable truths about the fragility of human resilience and the consequences of a society that often turns a blind eye to those teetering on the edge. Moreover, the significance lies in the lessons we extract from the shadows of Wuornos' existence. It prompts us to question our collective responsibility in identifying and addressing the underlying issues that can push someone into the abyss of criminality. Her story serves as a cautionary tableau, urging us to foster empathy and understanding rather than quick judgments. In comprehending the nuances of Aileen Wuornos' life and crimes, we gain insights into the human condition, the scars left by a tumultuous past, and the pressing need for a compassionate approach to mental health and societal disenfranchisement. It's a mirror held up to our collective conscience, challenging us to acknowledge the uncomfortable truths that lurk beneath the surface of sensational headlines. As we conclude our exploration into the riveting story of Aileen Wuornos, it's crucial to reflect on the complexities that underpin the tales of true crime. Wuornos' life challenges us to consider the societal factors at play and the intersections of trauma, mental health, and justice. While her legacy is both haunting and thought-provoking, it's imperative that we use these stories not just as entertainment, but as catalysts for empathy and understanding. If you found this journey intriguing, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. True crime stories like these provide us with opportunities to learn, grow, and foster discussions that extend beyond the screen. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell to stay updated on our future deep dives into the complex tapestry of human experience. Thank you for joining us on this exploration, and until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and stay curious. Together, let's uncover the secrets hidden in the shadows.